Are you struggling to connect with your partner after sexual intimacy? Are you feeling emotionally disconnected? Maybe even feeling vulnerable or insecure? You want to stick around for this video because we're going to be talking about aftercare and the importance of it and how you can incorporate it into your sex life and the benefits. If you're new here, welcome to our channel. My name is Jessie.
Welcome, welcome. My name is Bee.
And we're so grateful that you're here. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button. And if you're returning, thank you so much for being here. Without further ado, we're going to get right into it.
Awesome.
So, aftercare.
What is even aftercare?
Aftercare, in my opinion, is, which we actually found out earlier, it was born out of the kink community, so that's an interesting factoid for you. But aftercare for us has been a way for us to connect on a deeper level. It's intimacy after intimacy, just on an emotional level. And, you know, sex is such a sacred act. You know, you're truly exchanging energy, and it's like we're communicating not through words but through touch, and it's so important to connect with words after that touch happens, so you can kind of like, it's also like a really great container too where you can bring up to your partner. It's not awkward. It's like, hey, I really enjoyed this, like I'm gonna gas you up right now, like yes, please stop, please like keep doing that, or please like don't ever do that again.
Right. Yeah, aftercare, actually, when I first learned about it, it was with Jess. And if you're anything like me, like a couple years ago, I was very like, talking about sex, I don't do. We kind of like do it and then it's done, and we don't really talk about it too much. And I know that that comes from my childhood. Like my mom never talked to me about sex. If I brought something up in regards to sex, I remember bringing that up like a couple times as a kid, like not really knowing what I was talking about, and I was shamed for it. So I learned at a really young age to just, we don't talk about sex. Maybe it happens, but we're not talking about it. So I carried those programs with me into adulthood, and a lot of that was triggered when I met Jessie because, you know, as we started to become intimate, she wanted to incorporate something called aftercare, and that honestly terrified me. Like I was really scared, and I felt so uncomfortable and super awkward at first.
It was. I remember the look that she gave me, like, afterwards. I'm like, okay, let's talk about it. And she was like, no.
You want to talk about what?
You want to talk about what?
How many of you, like, currently feel like that, though? Like, I just want to know in the comments, like, if you were anything like me a couple years ago, like, I see you. It's going to be awkward at first. Like, we're not saying, oh, it's this amazing, beautiful thing, just do it. Like, no, it's a little uncomfy, especially if you've had a childhood like mine.
Yeah, and if you're anything like me and you love to talk about it afterwards, then let me know in the comments, because yeah, that's how you like grow and learn each other even better. And it's like also an opportunity to like gas your partner up, like, yes, you were amazing at this, keep doing that, love that. Or it's also an opportunity to talk about like, maybe you want to try something new, but you don't want to bring it up at like 2:00 on a Wednesday, and it's like awkward. That's a really specific time, but like, yeah, you don't want to like bring it up and it's awkward, and your partner's like, I'm not in the space to talk about this now, or maybe they feel really weird about talking about it. And it's a great opportunity to bring up, yeah, I want to try this next time.
Yeah, so you can really make your aftercare with your partner or partners, whatever it is that you want. So we're going to give you like some example questions, stuff that we actually use pretty much every time after. And then that'll get your ideas going, and then like you tailor it to what you want it to be. But the importance of aftercare, I also wanted to touch on too, which we kind of been talking about that. But I think that this is a really interesting phenomenon, because I actually used to feel like this after sex with different partners. Like I felt like, okay, everything was fine. Like, I wasn't super triggered. Because sometimes we get triggered during sex. Everything went okay. It went well. Nothing went wrong per se. But afterwards, I felt like super insecure. I felt really unsettled. I just noticed like I wanted to move on to the very next thing. Didn't want to talk about it. Didn't want to like anything. And that left me feeling like super vulnerable. And I would just, as a defense mechanism, like go to the next thing. And I think that this is where the importance of aftercare comes in, because this allows you to integrate a little bit more of what's happened, like physically, emotionally, spiritually, after, something that, like Jess was saying, is super, super sacred.
Right. So one of the questions that we always ask each other pretty quickly after, like we kind of lay there and we're just like, okay, so like, what did you like really love? Like what part did you love the most? And we give each other that feedback. And then we always ask, another good question is like, what could you have lived without? Like what was like not really doing it for you, if anything? Doesn't have to be something. It could just be like, yeah, no, I loved everything. Everything was great.
But it's an opportunity for you to be really honest with yourself and with your partner, because I remember the first time she asked me something like that, and the first couple of times I didn't really have anything, because I'm like, whatever, I liked everything. And a part of that was me like kind of not wanting to hurt her feelings and or like not being like present enough to even notice what I liked and what I didn't like, and so just glossing over, oh, everything was great. But there have been a few times where I was able to get the courage and say, actually, I didn't love this. Can we try this instead? And oh my gosh, you guys, that was so beneficial in me opening up my throat chakra and like expressing my likes, my dislikes. Like, we're human beings. Like, we have preferences, and that is beautiful. And to be able to communicate that to your partner in a confident way, and your partner receives that and doesn't take it personally and is like, okay, yeah, I got it. That is so healing.
It's also really empowering too. And I think it also allowed her to speak up more during
true.
intimate moments where she was like using her voice, and that was a difficulty in the beginning of her speaking up. So like implementing that aftercare can certainly help you during as well, where you're like, ooh, whoa, that's a boundary for me, where otherwise maybe you wouldn't say it.
Right. I mean, how many of you women out there, because I know a lot of women do, and I know a lot of like women that are in relationships with men probably do this, when you're like getting intimate, you're having sex, and like something doesn't feel great or it's triggering you, it's off, and you don't say anything, and you're just like, okay, when is this gonna be over? When is, you dissociate, like whatever happens. This has happened to me so many times. Oh my gosh. So for me to be able, like Jess said, to say in the moment, hey, let's do this instead, or I don't like that. It could be a simple no. That is super empowering, and it gets easier with time.
Right. What's the last question that we always ask? Is there anything that you want to try next time? Is there anything that like, or maybe like I did something and like you want me to do more of it, like give me feedback, like now this is the time to like give feedback, or is there something else that you want to try that's new?
Right.
Or just like
Yeah. Which I feel like we haven't asked that one lately.
Yeah, it's always usually the first two, or the ones that take, top priority. But I think,
this is a fun one to throw into the mix, because if you're in a long-term relationship, sometimes things can get a little mundane and you want to spice things up. You want to try something new. So maybe there's something like in the back of your mind, and you, like Jess said, you don't want to bring it up on like a random Tuesday afternoon at 2 p.m. But here's your safe, sacred container where it's like, oh yeah, babe, like what about this next time? And then having your partner be open to that.
Right. And it's not where your partner is going to feel awkward, or like maybe like, if you bring it up randomly and they're like, oh, wait, now I feel awkward. Like we don't want to create that awkward thing where maybe they're a little hesitant to engage in sexual intimacy with you.
Right.
So this is also a container for that as well.
Right. And then what are some other questions? Like now that we've, you know, said the couple that we typically go over, like what are some questions that y'all feel like you could incorporate in your aftercare? Like I'd love to get some new ideas too and to see what's going on for the community.
Yeah, so let us know in the comments.
Let us know. Well, we love you all. If this video resonated with you, if you'd like to see more topics like this, hit the subscribe button, hit the like, share it with someone who may benefit from it. And as always, take what you need, leave the rest, and go love yourself.